Again, always remember futures trading is very high risk and only risk capital should be employed. This just a little recap of today for all of you live traders been in the room. Now, I didn't have this recorded or anything, but I do want to give a recap of what we did. We didn't trade today technically because I said that the market is way too volatile. It's been hyper speed ever since we opened. The volume has been off the charts on mini NAS. Now, first things first, there's a very strange divergence in mini NAS. I noticed this early and I pointed it out, and it just gotten weirder. You got the transportation index soaring, the Dow up point. It's been up 0.40 to 0.70 approximately on a percent basis, and this darn NAS has always been down as 1% or more. Now 1.21. Very strange divergence here. Dollar soaring, gold backing off a little bit from 1300, 13 or 1280 in that area. No big deal. Our biotech stuff is still ripping. I recommended last Thursday SBio and IBB. You can check the price back then. SBio and IBB last Thursday. Today is Thursday the 10th. So last Thursday I recommended these. They in the last 2 days since the Trump rally, they're up 20%. Both those are up about 20%. And today, more up additional percent. So stick with the healthcare biotech industry. It's going to treat us well, I'm sure. But just giving you a little recap here on what we're doing. So what happened here? There it is. So what we've had 4 boomerang setups on the crude oil here, but I've been so busy. What I started doing about, I think it was an hour, for those of you just joining in the room here, is about hour and a half, I think, ago. I said I'm going to just go ahead and kind of do paper trade type things. You can take the trades if you want. If you don't want to take them, it's very fast, very volatile. And I said you're going to have to use a 10-point stop on the mini NAS. Well, lo and behold, and again, I know if you're just coming in the room, all this in hindsight, but everybody in the room is here. They've heard it. We had 6 trades that I called out. They were all winners for 102 NASDAQ points. First one, long at 46.24, calling for 46.42 for 18 points. 46.93 calling for 47.23 for plus 30 points. 47.28 short, going short, and calling for a pullback to 47.16, which we got for 12 points. Trade number 4, long short at 25, 47.25. Have to use, unlike usual, I got to use these 46, 47 handles to market. 47.25 short, 47.18 for 8 points. And then trade number 5, we were looking for a big support there at 47.02. You can go back over your charts and see it. The call was for 47.26, which they ramped up there for 24 points. And then last short was 27.24 and calling for 10-point move down to 14, which they did. So total 102 points there. And I just made a call recently for they started going into some whipsaw limbo. So I was calling for 4,700 support, 47.30 range bound whipsaw. But lo and behold, the Trump rally keeps going. They are blasting outside of the range I'd called for and making a higher move up here. Absolutely astonishing, absolutely amazing. Now watching, I'll make another call here for a short trade. Let's go ahead and watch just a little bit higher, right in this area here. Let's look for this area here, 3,700 right there, 3,700. I'll write this down. Don't take the trade unless you want to, but I'm telling you it's going to be volatile. 3,700 short there. me see what we got. I'm checking a couple things. 3,700. And the call would be 3,700 or 47.37, and looking for a move down possibly to 23. They blew that thing up like a balloon there. So again, initial 10-point stop, right? Initial 10-point stop. Looking for them to hold in general under 40. This could be a little bit trickier. Got to use a 10-point stop. So we're looking to see if they can hold them in general um, under 40, and looking for the market to, it's acting weird. Boy, they're bullish, I'll tell you. It's amazing. All those people bashing Trump and Wall Street, and now they're all like, yeah, all right, a billionaire president who knows what he's doing, not some community organizer who was broke and clueless. Makes no sense, but that's a big whatever. I'm just talking from a business standpoint. Okay, they're breaking out here, so, you know, this is not working out. They're still blasting them higher, so take this one out right in here. 43. They could still go back lower, but the short idea I think is still intact. Again, these are more or less, these are like super hypothetical trades because I'm calling, but the ones before were all exact and they panned out. So let's kind of stick with this here. If you got out, that's okay, but I'm still looking. That's why I got to use these incredibly wide stops. If you want to re-short or whatever, I'm still looking for this 40 area to hold them back for a trip back down to probably 25. That's my estimate. But boy, they are blasting. Okay, we got a crude oil setup occurring here. The problem is the setup is occurring on a big whipsaw blast here. See this candle coming in here? Look at that, 64.76. It's too big. It's too much whipsaw. Yeah, they could run higher on the crude, but this is not a good trade here to take. This trade is not a valid crude oil trade, so skip the crude trade long. And still expecting 37, the current target 26. Let me mark that in here. And again, I don't recommend you take these trades, but if you want to use them with a 10-point stop, I'll give you the ideas. I'm still here working hard, but I'm not recommending you get into this volatility, especially if you're new to trade. Now, the target is 26. And from there, I don't know. Maybe they could blast them a little bit lower. But for right now, see this orange line? That's what we're using for our entry, 37, right? And we got to get them down under 31. And then we're looking for a blast to 26 is the target goal. Got to take them down under 31, knock 30 out, and then we'd be looking for 26 on a downside, flip to the downside there. So we've had some outrageous trades earlier, 6 of them in a row, 102 points, called exact like I'm doing them now. It was a lot smoother earlier. Now we're getting to this whipsaw zone. See, now that they ramped them up here, there's a lot of bullish mood back in. Look at that crude oil. See, that's why we didn't take it. Just fizzled right out because the right setup was not there. We only take the right setups if we can. We use our filters. We use all our energy to get on the right trade setup. And it's not easy. But this trade's being a little bit stubborn, getting a little bit whipsaw after this upside jam here. So this trade may struggle to pull back. Still watching for a pullback, but they may struggle a little bit here. They already tried this routine here, but we're still short. It's paper trade, 37. Some of you are taking it, I know. You Rambo riverboat gamblers out there. Hey, that's all right. No harm, no foul if you want to take them. But I'm targeting 37 to run 26. So right now it's just a matter of if they can start peeling off a little bit here from this overcooked upside area and start to work them back lower here. Let's see if they can get them down under 31 as a sign that they could be willing to knock them lower. So they take them down under 31. There they go. Take them down under 31. The current target goal is now it's lifted up a little bit higher. So I'm going to say 26 to 28. So we'll put this right at 27, right in the middle, 26 to 28. So let's see if they can knock them down under 31 and hit them down to 27. And from there, I don't have a lot of information. Um, well, wait, actually, 18. Let's go back down. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Take them back down. Let's try 20. 18 is actually the target. 18 is actually the target. And there they go plowing through that 26. But the actual target now is closer to 18. I'm going to have to try to configure this trade a little bit here. It's getting tricky, I'll tell you. Look at that. So they went down, hit our initial target where I said 27. They went exactly to 27. You see that? You heard me live. I said 27. I should have stuck with that. They went exactly to 27 and staged a ramp up here. I changed it and I said no, more like 20. So 37 went to 27 exactly when I made that call to 27. And then I looked at some stuff. I said, no, the potential's a little stronger. So now we're really in limbo land here because they did do this ramp up, and maybe just maybe they want to get that. Look at that Dow. They got that Dow up 130. Wall Street likes that action. I mean, they're digging the Trump rally here. They were, never mind. There was a little staging a little their own little revolution yesterday on the floor. Anyway, they like that they like that rally action there that they're getting out of the Trump rally, so that's good. It's a good deal. It's the first sign, making America great again. Let's start getting this thing kicked up. Let's get the market kicked up. Let's get everything going again. Enough of this negativity and all this terror. Let's squash the terrorism and get things working. Why are people protesting? I mean, it makes no sense. Protesting someone who wants to get rid of terrorism and make the streets safe. These protesters are. When we were protesters in the '60s, we had good solid reasons to do it. And they were shooting at people back then. They were shooting college students, killing them. In Ohio, it was a whole thing. But nowadays, these kids, they don't make any sense. I think they just want to have free load off everything. Targeting 20 on the downside here. Still an intact goal. Let's see what we got here. And I know a lot of these kids. That's not a problem. It's just that, you know, what are you protesting? Trying to make things safer when you're making things more dangerous? Yeah, the whole thing makes no sense. Anyway, targeting 20 on the pullback, maybe 18 again, but they are getting a little bit, uh, there's a positive tone to all this here. So let's try to work. I originally said 27. They went down to 24 on that last dip. Let's compromise and go 22. I think that's a safe bet. I think 22. Probably 20's in the cards, but let's go 22 and see if they can knock them back down there as a goal for this trade here. So short at 37, looking for 22 as a potential area to hit them. 27 was my original call, then I changed it to 18, and then I started moving it up slowly because of some different factors coming in. So let's see if we can knock them down to 22 is now the target goal for this trade on the pullback here. I'm glad we got to get one on here recorded live. Let's see if we can knock them down a little bit lower here, down to still targeting 22. Maybe they stage a spring back, but I think we got a little more downside punch here, down at least to 22, maybe lower. Maybe they'll come back in all bearish again and hit them. But let's see if we can get them. I'd like to say last low 24, so we got to say 24 to 22. If they can break them down under 24 again, then 22 should be in the cards, probably even 20. So here comes 24 again. So if you're trading these, I'm giving you these areas so you can work around them. 24 to 22. If they bust 24, then they're probably going to 20, but I would like to say 22 would be our target for this trade. So let's see, there we go. Okay, knocking them down. There comes 22. Boom, there's 22. So, okay, 37 short to 22. Hey, this is historical volatility. You've seen in the room, or like on my YouTube channel, I've got 24-point trades and stuff like that, but you sit there for hours like pulling teeth. You got to go through so many things to get the market to finally wiggle away. So we're sort of in this historic, strange kind of period here where the volatility is so strong. I can go and pick off these, you know, 20, 30-point trades literally all day long today. So that was 22 to 32, 22 to 32. That's plus, wow, 22 to 30. Yeah, plus 15 points on that deal. 7 winners in a row, plus 18, plus 30, plus 12, plus 8, plus 24, plus 10, plus 15. Using an initial 10-point stop, none of which got hit. Was very little pressure on the stop after my entry. And here they go again, blasting them back. On the downside, I told you, I said probably 20 and maybe 18. 18 was actually technically the target, but they're blasting them just under 18 here. And probably, let's see here. Up, crude oil trade right here. Going short at the market on crude. Short at the market. 66. Where is it here? 64. 66. Okay. 66 short on crude. We got two simultaneous trades going here. And again, it's really volatile. So 66, and the target goal is 66.56. Same crude formula. I'm not expanding the targets or anything for crude. We just stick with it. The pattern should be good for a lower move. The problem is once the trade set up and they hit 66, they're already blasted down to 54 for 10 ticks. So it may be a has run trade already. So I'm going to be real ready and possibly clip the trade early here because they sprung back the volatility. It may be already a has run downside trade, but we're going to watch and see. 66. Let's see if they can run 56 again. Just be ready to jump out. It's pretty volatile on crude too, so I don't know. It's pretty weird, pretty strange here. Markets. Let's see if crude's ready to take them back down. Everything should be okay for a lower move. Let's see if they can take them back down. And stay ready to jump out anytime. We might clip this trade due to the nature, the extreme whipsaw nature, but it's kind of an already ran trade. The actual setup was for 66 on the initial short here, which got blasted down to 54. So I'm kind of asking him to re-blast the downside here. I don't know if it's going to happen. So I'm going to be watching 8 ticks really carefully, which would be a move to 58. Yeah, I think the smart thing to do would at least be targeting 58 for 8 ticks instead of 10, because it's already an already ran downside trade here. So let's see if we can even get this thing to work for us. We may have to jump out, so just be ready. But everything's lined up on the sell side, so it's the correct setup. But the correct setup was on this here at 66 on this first move here. So I may be chasing it now on this rebound back 10 ticks from that low. So let's see. Let's give it a little chance to work. It's in a sell pattern, but there's a lot of volatility here. We may have to just clip this trade because it was not technically the right setup after they already ran lower and then they sprang back. But I was just trying to get us in on something here. No, this thing's no good. Exit at the market. Too much volatility today. My God. I have to be honest, that was not the right trade setup. This was the original short. You don't, my mistake. Look, it's short, matching dynamic trend bands, pull back to signal line at 66, and down they came. I saw these dots here. I saw them come back. I really wasn't paying as much attention, but it was just a small loss there. But that was the correct trade was on the original yellow dot, not a rebound back there after going down 10 ticks. Anyway, sorry about that. Small loss, but we had a 10 tick winner earlier, and there were 4 winners prior to that, 4 winning trade setups, which I was not in the room at that time monitoring. So, so far in crude, 50 ticks minus 7 ticks on that last one. Let's see, over on the good old I mean, it's outrageous day to day in terms of gains, but I'm just calling these out, telling everybody 10 tick or 10-point stop on mini NAS. Higher margins today on the market at the brokerage houses. Some I've heard went back to normal, but they may have shifted them back already because this thing's been flying around all day. It's finally slowing down a little bit here. Um, Astonishingly, we're up 117 points on 7 winning trades in a row again. Trades that I said you probably don't want to take, but I was given the areas and the ideas. None of the stops got hit, and the targets were all getting hit. That last trade I called for 4,700 to 4,730 range bound area. They broke out of the 4,730 a little bit to 4,475. Got nailed on the downside back to 47.14, which was the last trade we shorted at 37 down to 22. So they're holding the general idea of the range bound. You can't tell exactly where the range bound area is going to be, but so far they have held that, and it actually produced more volatility in the midst of that. So it was good we clipped that crude oil. I'm sorry about that. That was the wrong setup. The setup was the first yellow dot, not trying to re-short a rebound. These crude trades, when you get in them, they set up right. You take the trade, you get your 10 ticks, and you stand aside. You don't really fool around with them much because you're not trying to trade the bias or where it's going to go, especially especially with this kind of nonsense. Look, I mean, look at the whipsaw all day long, just massive crude oil whipsaw. You know, trading's supposed to be somewhat fun and pleasurable once you know what you're doing. It's not supposed to be madness and torture and losing money and getting all cut to shreds. For what purpose, I ask? Why? What is the value of that? All right, so we're watching here for again for another possible call here. They are, let's see what this, the high breakout. I'm going to mark that now. We're going to start using some of these blue lines way up here. Borrow some of these. Now, although the market may get really bullish again, uh, it's very possible we could see some bullish action going here. I think this is one of them I just pulled down. I just want to remark this last breakout high. I called for 40, 30. I called for 30 range bond. I wasn't, it's hard to tell. I said, but they might break out, and they did to 44. So 44 is currently like a key number. Again, let's see. Get rid of some of these. Wait a minute. Don't give that just yet. That was that the opening range? It was. Oh, don't get rid of those lines. I thought they were old opening range lines. Obviously, clearly, and obviously, I'm going to have to redo a lot of these levels after this volatility subsides. And we're going to be closed in the room tomorrow. The bankers aren't participating in the markets tomorrow. The banks are closed. That's a huge amount of volume. I think the market's going to stabilize a little. We have a whopper day today coming in. Um, so we'll be closed tomorrow. And it'll be good. Let this thing settle out and kind of everybody get used to, whether it's a Trump rally or a Trump pullback or this or that. Let's just kind of take the pause for the cause and see what we're going to do here. So now we've got this is just a paper trade line here. We got this big ramp up here that broke out of that 30 range. They're trying again. They try to hit him up there again, but still under that. Still holding the general whipsaw range that I gave. If you recall, I at 11:10 I called for a range of 4,700 to 4,730. Right in here. So they came down to 06. And they did. I said they might break out of 30. They did. They went up to 44, pulled back, and held 16. So they're hanging up off the highs pretty good here. So might not be too good to bet bearish on this market just yet. I mean, trading wise, it's fine. But we're talking some huge volatility here. And like I said, I'm just here in the room calling out these big swing trades so you can see the accuracy of our work. Those who've been in here since the opening and those of you now just saw that last trade for 15 points. We've had 7 of those today, plus 18, plus 30, plus 12, plus 8, plus 24, plus 10, and then this last one you just saw live for plus 15 points. The crude oil, let's see here. Actually, boy, you know what? The simple rule, this kind of whipsaw candles, we just got to stand aside. I think it could be possibly a bullish trade, but 73. No, it's just the simple rule. When this kind of whipsaw is going on, just stand aside. Let them go 73 to 93 or 83, whatever. Who cares? It's too much whipsaw. It's too much whipsaw. Outrageous, out of control whipsaw. Don't need it. These are paper trade lines. Put those up there. We have a lot of people taking our trades. They're not all paper trades. They're all real trades, but today I'm just calling out trades with 10-point stops, and voluntarily you want to trade them, go ahead. But if I show 117 points and we go back to our regular 8 to 12 point target gain every day, people will go, "What? What happened? We want 100 points every day." Me too, but you need these kind of insane markets to get those. Okay, watching for possible short here. Let's see what we got here. Little shift here. Yeah, let's go ahead. No, no, no. Maybe it's looks like it might have been a has run already. Let's see here. I was looking for a shorter on 28 there. 28, 29. Let's try to get him a little better and we'll go for it here. A little bit higher. See if we can get him just a little bit higher. Okay, right there. Shorting him. Shorting him at 30. Shorting him at 30. 10-point stop and 30 short. This one is only running only. What a joke, huh? Only running 15. 30 short, and we're looking for a move down to 15. Okay. Gotta quickly get these lines at 30. So I get my call exactly on 30, and maybe some more whipsaw here. I'll do my best to manage it here because it's different. We're in a different time zone. This is where Europe leads the market. Everything gets a little crazier now. It's not going to be smooth like it was earlier, I don't think. But I'm targeting 30 to move lower and run currently 15 to 16. Okay, 30 running 15 to 16. Let's see if we can get that action going. 30 running 15 to 16. If we can get a break down under 20, then we can move the stop to break even. Let's see if we can knock them down here. 30 running. Let's make it 16 even here. 30 running 16. Let's get them going here. Let's see if we can knock them out of the park on the downside. We got to get 22 broken here. Last low 22. Breaking 22 lines up a potential move to 20 and then a possible jam down to 16. However, there is a chance of support that could come in anytime. Let's see if we can break 22 down. There is a move 16 to 20 is the zone. If we can crack 20, then there should be a good chance of running them down to 16 here. Let's watch 20 carefully though, because it might turn into a little bit of a support area. And 20 to 22, watching that zone. Still watching for a possible dip down to 16 here. So I don't want to let him go just yet. Let's see if we can break 20. 20 breaking. Okay, look at that. Like a lightning bolt, they were down to 16 and 1. See that? Whoa. I said 20 to 22, and then I said breaking 20, they're going to go to 16. They broke 20, and like a flash, right at that 22 area. You saw it live right here. They went to 12. Yow. Pretty intense, huh? And everything's marked here. 30 short. You saw it live. There's 16, and I said 20 to 22, and if they break 22, if they break 20, they're going to 16, and they flash crashed down to 12. So 30 short, covered them up at 16. 14 points. I mean, I'm a little surprised too with all this volatility. I don't want to pat myself in the back too much here, but we've had 8 whopper winning swing trades in a row. Currently up 117 plus 14 points plus 131 points on called out exact initial 10-point stop on mini NAS swing trades. All winners, 8 huge winners in a row. 6 trades on crude oil, 4 before we opened the room, which were just regular boomerang trades. You can take those trades if you own boomerang. Uh, when we're open, you can trade them off the screen yourself or wait for my call if I have time to get into them. If I'm not, NAS is kind of our primary contract, but we trade them both. Um, and 4 winners prior market, plus 10 during the market, and then minus 7 on that last trade. So on crude, we have 50 minus 7, 43 ticks on crude. 131 points times 20 bucks, $22,620 on one contract on mini NAS, plus 43 times, well, 430 CL. Probably looking to call it a day here. Market can go anywhere it wants, obviously, and it's wild. But I've done a lot of work here. I hope you appreciate it. I decided to come in here and just paper trade them. And they're voluntary trades, what I call them. They're real trade setups, everything, but they're volunteer, meaning you got to be willing to use a 10-tick stop. You got higher margin today. 2620 plus 430 bucks, 3050 combined, and the commission on retail commission on 6 crude oil trades, 6 times 4, well, total trades, 8 plus 14 trades times, well, the first 4 crude oil we didn't do live in the room, so it's up to you if you want to count those or not, but otherwise it'd be net 3 ticks on crude oil. 30 bucks. So I'll scratch that. I'll just put 30 bucks. In live posted trade that I gave here today in the room, using a 10-point stop on NAS, regular crude oil setup, live trades was 30 bucks on crude oil plus 3 ticks and 131 points on mini NAS. I know it sounds crazy, but the volatility was giving us that. So 2620 on NAS per contract plus 30, 2650, 8, 9, 10, 10 trades. 10 times $4.50, 45 bucks. Commish. 2650 minus 45, net 2605. So if you're trading a blue collar working trader account times 4 contracts, 10,400. $10,420 today. If you took all those trades I recommended. So that's the reality. It's, you were here live, you heard them. Pretty scary trying to take some of these trades, but that's what happens. So it's a good day. Don't take it serious. We're just it's historic times. There's a new president elected, you know, who wants to do great things for our country, make it great again, make it strong and powerful. What is the matter with that? Why would anybody want to protest that and stick with the old thing we had, which is already looking very old and stale, which is terrorism everywhere, nothing being done about it. Till the last 2 weeks before the election, they started feigning some effort to do something. I mean, the whole thing is just like we're going to look back, and when it's after a couple of years of Trump, we're going to look back and go, what were we thinking? We're going to just let America go down the toilet. So I don't know. I mean, whether you disagree or agree, this is what we got now, and so far we want to make things strong in the market that everybody's forecasting a big blast to the downside, and that guy Mark Cuban, the goofy Mark Cuban, was biggest short position I've ever had. Yeah, well, he got cleaned out. You don't hear from him much now. Big mouth, you don't hear from him. So he just Trump just sailed through all this water like a duck off its back with the forward vision, and we're getting a big blast in the stock market. And like him or not, it's a great thing. We got to make things better again. So anyway, you know, it's not that important right now. This is what we're going to deal with. For us right now here in the room and everything, we got to deal not so much with political things, but with just what the new appearance of the market's going to be and all that. So our first day really trading in this since the election, uh, having a whopper day with the calls I made. I mean, I'm a little stoked too, but it's not imagination. We saw them here, and two of them I have on recording. So I do actually have a record of two of those live recorded, the last trade 7 and 8. But prior to that, they were all the same type of deal. I just called the exact level, called the exact entry, 10 point stop, and then crude oil is just so full of it today on the whipsaw. I mean, look at this. Our rule is if you get these big giant whipsaw cans, just stay aside. So there were some earlier trades that I mentioned here. Scrolling back, I'll go over those one more time before we close up the room. We start at 5:45 Pacific time, which is 9:40, 8:45 New York. So there was an actual setup right prior to that 5:45 right here. 86 running up to, so there's 10 ticks there. Here a short. All the filters lined up. You know, the volatility means once the thing's open. There's volatility all day, but not that they were way up here and they spiked down here, but once if everything's tight around the dynamic trend bands, generally pretty tight, the filters, and it's a good trade. 78 coming down for 10 ticks there. No trade here because now here, see the opening candle comes in and they're just spiking to the moon. They can be taken, but they're much higher risk. And we didn't, of course, have the matching dynamic trend band, so no trade there. But here, yeah, there's a lot of whipsaw going on, but the dynamic trend bands are matching here. You see that? When they get the up channel going, they didn't have matching candles or the DTBs, or the filters weren't right. Now the filters are flat, by channel, everything matching. Pullback signal line at 62 and up they go. That was the second winning trade there. And then in pre-market, and then after the rooms opened, forget it. Just went crazy. Everything went crazy on the crude. Nothing to do. This was a setup here that I missed. This actually occurred. Matching dynamic trend band, sloping down filter under the flat secondary filter. This was a fine, genuine trade here. 81 dropping down to 64. And ever since then, it's just been whipsaw. So there was two trades in pre-market that were I didn't monitor or call the trades, and then two that I called that I just showed you. That one for 10 ticks, 83, 84 going short, and 66. And I told that was just a mistake. That was a blunder on my part. But no big deal. I already explained that. This was the short here. I was looking at our NQ market when they rebounded back. I thought, oh, let's reshort them. But then after I already did that and called it out to you, I saw that this was an already ran trade, and I said, oh, we may have to get out of this one. It's an already ran trade. And then they started pushing higher. We got out for a 7 tick loss in that, and now it's just whipsaw soup on both sides of the market. And my expectation is the next 3 or 4 hours, probably it's already run the wide range of the day. Let's check that NAS range, just to have a little fun here. It's pretty astonishing. Look at that. Oh my God. Got a squish here. Oh man, look at that. It was up so huge off the Globex. So 40 is approximate. 48.81. 48.81 to 46.79. Practically speaking, 200 NASDAQ points handles. 200 handle range. Wow. I'm trying to really go over all this and do what we did today with the trades and everything, not only so you can see how good I am at trading this stuff, calling it out using my indicators. I don't mean to brag or pat myself on the back, but you got to admit, 8 winning trades in a row in this environment, all huge trades, not bad. But the point is that if anything, it just, add some credibility if you want to join our room. If you're watching us on YouTube or you're a guest in the room, I think staying for long term. But the fact that this is historical volatility, you get to see me function in that type of volatility. Because normally we go in, we're scalping 2 to 3 points, or have been, because of this rigged up, contracted market, and we're trying to scalp 2 to 3 points and ultimately build an 8 to 12 point type of day and call it a day, which is very reasonable in the market that we had. But then you see the volatility open up. You want to see, well, how can I operate in that type of environment? And you see it today. You got to see that. And that's very important. That's very good. So I appreciate you joining with us today. And I thanks for joining with us. Now,